Welcome, welcome to Angry Appliance Repair Person. For the record, you're looking at them. This presentation is going to be about ovens, whether it is a steam clean oven or a self-clean oven. Now, I have had rumors, not fact, rumors, that the government is going to put an end to self-clean. Why? Because it uses too much gas if it's a gas range, or too much electric if it's an electric range. They want to save power and gas all the time. So, self-clean uses a lot of power. It is very effective. Companies have been experimenting with steam clean. If you have a newer product, you may see that it might have both. It might have a steam clean button and a self-clean button. Some manufacturers have gone steam clean only and eliminated self-clean. If you are looking in the market to buy a new stove for your house, make sure that if you want a self-clean range, you buy one. If you like what self-clean does, which is self-clean heats up the oven very hot to burn off the soot, burn off the grease to create a white powder or soot, and that you wipe off when you're done. It has been that way for a very long time. We've had self-clean ranges for a very long time, but again, with its power usage and gas and the smell in your house, of course, which a lot of people don't like, including me, the smell that it puts off can be annoying, and the government, with the new regulations, it may go away. So let's talk about the differences. Steam clean means that at the bottom of your oven there will be a divot. You pour the water into the divot, turn on the oven into that steam clean, heats it up to create steam. The one big problem, the dirt, the spill. Let's say you were making something in there and it spilled over and it got onto the bottom. Now, as I have said in previous presentations, never use tin foil. Never put tin foil on the bottom of your oven, especially electric. You will regret it because you may not get it out of there. So you do not want to do that. When you see that spill, if you're going to use the steam clean, you almost have to steam clean it fairly soon after that spill. You can't really turn on your oven again. If you do, you may bake the grease into the oven bottom. If you do that, you will not be able to get it out with the steam clean, and you're still going to have to be down there with elbow grease, as we say in the old days, and you have to wipe it up. So, steam clean is one of those things that it works as long as you get right to the spill right when it happens. You cannot use steam clean on an oven that has been working for 6 months and has got dirt everywhere, and you're going to pour the water in the little divot at the bottom and you're going to use it. It probably won't do a very good job. You'll be very upset and you're going to have to scrub. With that being said, the steam clean feature, I have played with it. It does actually do a fairly good job, but it still requires you to wipe up the grease, but it does loosen the grease enough that you can get it off there without too much trouble if you do it shortly after the spill is there. Self-clean, of course, doesn't really matter. Self-clean, you can let it go 6 months, 7 months. The oven is look very dirty, and then you put it into self-clean, uses a lot of power, a lot of gas, smells up the kitchen, but it does a very good job of getting rid of the dirt. So steam clean is probably going to be the future. You're going to have to get used to having that. There are a lot of cold oven cleaning products now. Lots of companies make them. You could always try one of those as well. I do not recommend products that you heat the oven first before cleaning it. I don't like those. I don't think they're around as much as they used to be, but you still might see them. So with steam clean, you have to do it very shortly after you see the mess. Self-clean, as it always has been, but don't think that in another 4 or 5 years, that self-clean may not be there anymore. And you may walk into an appliance store and say, I would like a self-clean range, and they're going to say, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any of those anymore. Everything is now steam clean. So if you are in the market for a new range, make sure you think of that before you go. But the steam clean feature works as long as you do it very quickly after that spill is made. So for the senile thought each week, white collar versus blue collar. Now, for people not as born in the 60s like me, that is very old. So With me at my advanced age, I know what that means. The white-collar worker, way back when I was a wee little tot, they basically said white-collar workers were workers that worked in offices that wore white-collar shirts, and the blue-collars were, of course, the manual laborers that wore the blue-collar. Well, of course, that was a long time ago. Nowadays, it's not as cut and dry anymore as it used to be. But one fact still remains the same, in my opinion. In my opinion, the white-collar worker is one of those, like the smartest man in the house, for example. Very smart up here, not very smart right here. And a lot of times that they don't work with tools every day. Yes, I know, smartest man in the house. You know what a screwdriver is, but I wouldn't want you to see you using one. You just work the camera and do what you do best. White-collar workers are very good at working and solving problems most of the time. And the biggest thing I see is that a white-collar worker can work on one project and then put that project to the side, then work on another project and put that project to the side. Blue-collar workers, we don't do that. We go out, we work on something, we get that job done. Then we work on the next job and we get that done. White-collar workers have a little different mentality. I have seen some very good ones where they will actually work on something for like 3 hours, and then they will just put it to the side and say, we'll work on that another day. Let's not finish it. Let's work on this for 2 or 3 hours because the day is almost up. It's very hard for me to understand that. I don't get that at all, but I've seen it happen and it works for them. But blue-collar workers like myself, we like to go out there. We have a job to do. We do the job. It's over. We move on to the next job. So, where am I going with this? Very simple. For a young person, which is you? Which is the one you want to do? Do you want to sit behind a desk necessarily? You want to work in that atmosphere? Great, more power to you. Or do you want to be a blue collar where you will go out into the world, fix something, get it done, work on something else? Our world needs both. We need both of those people. The problem I see is sometimes we have more of this and not of this, or vice versa. I've noticed it is difficult to have a even amount where we have a good amount of blue collar, good amount of white collar, and all the jobs are filled. It's a shame that it doesn't work that way. I don't know why. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. But all I can tell you is there are plenty of times where we are short on blue collars. When I was a wee little tot, there were a lot of blue collars workers out there. Lots of blue collar workers. But we didn't have that many white collars, so everybody was going to college. Now in today's world, I see the opposite. I see we have a lot of white collar, college educated people that are going into that world. Not too many blue collars that can do the service work and the factory works that we must have as a society. So, which one is for you? If you are a young person, wee little tot, watching this presentation, you have to decide. Both of them are important. You just have to decide which is for you. And, as always, we thank you for spending some of your day with us.